And I think Columbine was April 20th.
Of that year?
I know it was April 20th.
Okay,
yeah.
so right after.
Yeah.
You know this. Didn't they go to Columbine?
No, they went to Littleton.
All right. Right.
Either Littleton or Arapahoe.
But, like, there? How close is it to Columbine?
Oh, they're all in the same school district.
Okay.
It's right there.
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember if they did a Columbine episode. Oh, well. I was thinking about going back through some cartoons and watching them.
Yeah.
I might want to go back through, because those first, 9 to 10 seasons of South Park are so good.
I've been thinking about just various shows from my childhood that I'd like to go back, because we're watching Shrinking.
Yeah.
And Matthew Urey is on it, and he was on Ugly Betty. And Ugly Betty was one of my favorite shows in my childhood, with America Ferrera and Vanessa Williams.
Yeah.
And I'm like, would I still enjoy it? Like, should I go back and watch it?
Yes. Always go back and watch if you got the time.
Man, I'm so behind on I don't have the time to do anything right now.
You've absolutely just bailed out on Brooklyn Nine-Nine also.
I know. We started a new documentary yesterday during our workout instead. It's called Unlocked. It was like a 6-week prison experiment in Arkansas.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, Chris has been wanting to watch it for a long time.
But regular people end up going in? What's the experience?
No, they allow the people who are in the detention center to have free-ish reign.
Okay.
So, they take the deputies out. They allow for them to be in a common area where they are treated like responsible adults, is the premise. If we treat someone like a responsible adult, will they act like a responsible adult in a detention center?
Gotcha.
It's interesting. Interesting concept.
What was the song?
I didn't have one. It's been a morning.
Oh.
The fire alarm was going off across the street.
I heard.
I had to go meet a dog.
Meet a dog?
No, we'd already met the dog, but I had to go
for
get
coffee
the keys
this morning.
Me and this dog went out for a quick cup of joe.
A little coffee date early in the morning.
Her name is Bella. She's 16.
Oh, that dog is old. Let me do the math. Carry the 4. That dog is 112 years old.
She's a vintage gal.
That's beyond vintage. That's antique. At 112?
Please, she's listening.
Wait, did I do the math right? 7 times 16?
I think
I
I
did.
It.
No, I think it's 112.
I can't do it that quickly, What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, December 10th, going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, the Memphis Grizzlies are up to 5 in the NBA's new power rankings. Mike Wallace will join us to talk about their big weekend wins and some of the standout performances of the season thus far. Thursday Night Football was chaos, and there was a Simpsons broadcast. What did I call it? Sunday? Thursday. Thursday, Sunday. It's all a day. They all end in Y. Thursday Night Football. Will Coleman will join us to talk about the Memphis Tigers' loss. Did I say Sunday Night Football again?
Thursday.
Oh, Monday. I'm just jumping ahead. It's Friday, everybody. Wow, we're gonna rewind. We're gonna start this thing over, but Will Coleman will be here. The Memphis Tigers are out of the AP Top 25. We will do some TV Tuesday. Golden Globe nominations came out, and I almost missed them because the internet was too ablaze following the arrest of the alleged CEO killer. They found him out of McDonald's. We'll get into all that. I promise I'll figure out what day it is. You know what we say.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
The squad together for this year's Junior Grizzlies 3-on-3 tournament, presented by 2K at the Built Ford Tough practice facility inside FedEx Forum. On Saturday, January 4th, teams will compete in 3 games before advancing to single elimination play. Overall winners from the 10 and under, 12 and under, and 14 and under divisions will win Grizzlies tickets, including exclusive access to the pregame team shoot-around before the Grizz take on the Pelicans January 24th. Sign up today at hoopitup.com/Grizzlies.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Look at that. We got the whole Grizzlies team just infiltrated our studio. Santi Aldama's in the house. Look at everybody. The whole Grizzlies team. Look at Zach Edey's in the house. John Morant's in the house. Say hello. Say hello.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
How about them
How
Tigers?
about
Go
the
Tigers. Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Tuesday.
Did
Yes.
Jet Jackson die?
Yeah.
Okay, I missed that.
You missed
Or,
it?
No, I think I knew.
I mean, his name is
that.
Lee Thompson.
I think I forgot.
Young?
I think I
Is that
forgot.
right?
Yeah.
I forget how he died. Was it a car accident?
I can't remember.
What a sad and somber. First, I don't get the day right. Now we're talking about the death of the
Well,
famous
in
Jet
the
Jackson.
chat, if you're
okay,
not,
hold on. Now I have to figure out
if
how
you're
he
not,
died.
if you listen to this show, you're doing yourself a bit of a disservice. And if you're watching the show, you're doing yourself a bit of disservice if you're not in the chat. Because in the chat, we're just having side conversation. We're talking about child crushes, like pre-teenage crushes.
Right.
And so we got on Jet Jackson in the chat. And so
well,
that's
because
how we
you
got
all
there.
were thirsting over
Topanga Lawrence.
No, always Topanga Lawrence. But I brought up Eric Von Detten,
Who is he again?
the guy from Brink,
Yes.
the guy who played Johnny Tsunami, and the famous Joe Jackson.
They're the same. The guy who played Brink, the guy who played Johnny Tsunami are the same. Just one
They're
is
chill.
white and one is Samoan.
I don't know what he was.
Is he Samoan Polynesian? He's a Pacific Islander, right? But it's both the same. Brink was out here on his skateboards. We had a thing for those types of dudes when we were kids.
His name is Brandon Baker.
Avril Lavigne had a whole song about
Filipino.
skater boys. Okay. And so, yeah, one was a surfer, one was a skateboarder. They're the same. It's just
That's
different
true.
ethnicities. Yeah.
Those were the days.
You know, on Disney Plus, and I'm sure we got stuff to get
I was
to.
on. This is all coming together because I was on Disney Plus last night. Unfortunately,
Did you know that they have they have like a special sort of, not channel, but a special sort of like bar that's dedicated to the Disney Channel original movies.
Yeah, it's a decom bar.
Yes. It's like, oh, okay, here we go.
I don't go to it nearly enough.
I forgot about some of these.
I don't go to Disney Plus nearly enough. We have it because it's part of our Hulu ESPN bundle, but so rarely do I go to Disney Plus, except for last night when I had to seek out the Simpsons broadcast for Monday Night Football, because that's what we needed. It was perfect, though, because the end of that game was absolutely cartoonish. Like, my only regret is that I had already turned it off of the Simpsons broadcast. I only made it through the first drive. I watched Bart Simpson throw a touchdown pass to CeeDee Lamb, and I said, okay, this is enough for me. I went back to the normal broadcast, kind of jumped between. I do still enjoy watching Bill Belichick on the Manning cast, so after seeing this beautiful action on the Simpsons broadcast...
Issue.
Sure.
Why the hell is it Ralph? Why not Millhouse?
I don't know.
Like
this
that,
broadcast wasn't for me, CJ.
I
We
didn't
talked about it
understand that one.
before the show. I am not a Simpsons fan, so I don't want to take away from somebody who really enjoyed the Simpsons broadcast because
Did you
they
see
love
anybody
the
who
Simpsons.
said they really enjoyed it? That should have been the question in the chat today. Hey, hit us up and let us know if you really enjoyed the Simpsons broadcast.
I liked one
'Cause
thing.
I did not. Which one?
The Spider Pig reference.
Oh, nice.
It's the only thing I liked because I was not a Simpsons fan. Honestly, these are my only two memories of The Simpsons. Spider Pig, Spider Pig, Spider Pig.
That's from the
does
movie,
whatever
not even a
Spider
TV
Pig
show.
does. And the term pigskin is offensive. PETA, 911, PETA, what's your emergency? We call the football pigskin. My other memory of The Simpsons is an episode where Marge Simpson gets implants. Like, these are the things that imprinted onto my young, impressionable brain.
I'm unfamiliar with that episode.
She gets implants and suddenly she's considered super hot and all the men love her. And my little 9-year-old self thought to myself in that moment, wow, there's gonna be a day where if I wanna be considered hot like Marge Simpson, I'm gonna have to get implants. That's what that show left upon me.
Really?
That's it. That's Spider Pig and the episode where Marge gets implants.
Did you see the movie?
No.
You should watch the movie.
I'm okay.
You should watch the movie.
Okay, well, I watched the broadcast for
Yeah, the
brief
broadcast
moment in
is
time
not.
yesterday.
That's where Spider Pig comes from. So,
Mina Kimes deserves better.
Mina Kimes might have wanted that. Think about it. If you are in this position where you're talking about this sport and this particular team, in your case, every single day, something gets thrown in to spice it up a little bit, to change it up, to allow you to make corny little jokes.
Right.
You of all people would absolutely jump at it.
But not if it was The Simpsons, because I wouldn't understand the jokes. Like, it wouldn't. I kept thinking, I was like, I hope Mina Kimes was a Simpsons fan, because otherwise you're making jokes that don't mean. You have to make jokes that mean something to you. Otherwise they're absent. And now that you mention it, Spider Pig, because I am trying to figure out how that became a part of my conscience without seeing the Simpsons movie. I had a friend who would always sing the Spider Pig song, and it became a bit that the two of us did. And now I am remembering that there was a Memorial Day pool party at her community pool, and we had our faces painted like Spider-Man, and we did the Crank That Soldier Boy dance with the Spider-Man painted faces, and then we would sing we did a remix of Crank That Soldier Boy with the Spider Pig song. So
I need video.
And I think at one point we did
so bad.
Spider Pig up. Watch me crank it, watch me roll.
I need the video.
There used to be a grainy video on Facebook, and I think it finally got deleted.
No.
Praise be.
That's the video I need.
Anyway, it was almost as embarrassing.
What broadcast would you jump at?
A Disney princess broadcast.
A Disney princess Grizzlies game broadcast?
Oh, yes. But it has to include all the villains, too. Like Disney princes.
So it could be princesses.
Just the classics.
Princesses versus villains.
Sure. And in the princesses, we're including the likes of Hercules, Mulan, Pocahontas, and Hercules, because then we get Meg.
Well, Meg
Elsa.
is
She's
Meg a
technically
princess?
a princess. She's a queen.
Yes, Ursula would
Meg
be
is
the
not
bad guy.
technically a princess, but she's a princess to me.
All right.
She's my top princess.
Oh, is she? I did not know that.
Yes.
All right.
I'm a damsel. I'm in distress every day, working alongside you. I was gonna say.
Wait, does that make me the giant monster thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can roll with that.
Are you the serpent one, or the one with the rocks, like the rock formation?
No, when Hercules first comes across
Oh,
Meg,
yeah, he saves her under the
from
rock
from the centaur, right?
I don't know.
Yes, a centaur.
I got to get on Disney Plus more. Not to watch the Simpsons broadcast, but to revisit my favorites. Yeah, me doing the spider pig dance, almost as embarrassing as the end of that game for the Dallas Cowboys. I meant to find the cartoon version of it, but I did not. Instead, I watched it with my own eyes as we saw one of the worst special teams plays that you will see in the NFL all season. Game was tied at 20. The Bengals go to punt with 2 minutes left in the game. The Cowboys block the punt. You're like, wow, they're going to get great field position. Except not, because when it goes past the line of scrimmage, that is a live punt. And the Cowboys player who tried to recover it muffed it. Bengals ball. Next thing you know, zoom, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, or Lisa Simpson, depending on what broadcast you were watching, scored a 40-yarder.
I don't feel bad for athletes often. But boy, Troy Aikman hit me with yeah, they called him up from practice squad this week. This is his first game. I was like, oh, that dude is done playing football in this league. The one who touched the ball?
Oh, I thought they said that he came off IR.
I don't think it was IR. I think they called him up.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. Like you're fighting for a roster, not just on this team, right, but on other teams as well. Now you're that guy.
I was listening to the Jerry Jones comments afterwards, and all I could think is if I was a special teams player, because they don't get a lot of the glory, the accolades, and if the first time ever that Jerry Jones was referencing me, and it was in the negative way of him saying, but there's 3 phases to the game, there is special teams, I would simply pass away. Like, I would just be like, okay, I'm done. I don't want anything to do with this. Micah Parsons was so mad at the end. He didn't even stay on the field through the end of the game. He was feeling it. His quote afterwards was, I'm hurt. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. You can't put that into words. It seems like we're paying a due that's not fair. I don't know if it's bad luck, karma. This one hurt more than any loss this year, probably even worse than the playoff loss, to be honest, because of where we're going, how we're playing good football. This begs the question, are the Dallas Cowboys the reverse Kansas City Chiefs? Is the good karma of the Chiefs the bad karma of the Cowboys, with Taylor Swift to the Chiefs being what Jerry Jones is to the Cowboys? And we talk all the time, there are no ethical billionaires in this world, but there is a sliding scale of the karma that billionaires build, and it seems to me that Taylor Swift is on the right side of that and Jerry Jones is on the very wrong side of that, because how else can you explain this season for the Dallas Cowboys?
They're bad.
Oh yeah, that's part.
I think that.
They're
but
so
that's
bad.
That's what the NFL is. The difference in the Cowboys and the Chiefs, the difference in the Bengals and the Vikings is, what do you do in 1-score games? Because everybody's good. You're gonna play a bunch of close games. Will you have games where you blow people out? Absolutely, you will. Will you have games where you get blown out? Possibly, probably. But most of the time, you're going to be in a game where at the 5.5-minute mark, 6-minute mark, it is a 1-score game or it's a tie game, and somebody's got to make the play. And to the Chiefs' credit, 12 straight now? To the Vikings' credit, I think they're like 9-1 this season in close games. They're winning those.
Right.
Cowboys' detriment and the Bengals' detriment, right? Both of those teams.
But somebody had to win the game last
Somebody
night.
had to last night. I feel like the Bengals go to 2-7 in 1-score games this season. Like, that's the difference. That's it. Just how well do you execute in those scenarios? Can you, if you're the Bengals, get one stop? We just need one stop. We got Joe Burrow. We got Jamar Chase. One stop for the love of God. No. They got lucky yesterday. They got ridiculously lucky that somebody didn't pull my man to the side and make sure he understood all of the rules of the special teams. And that on a block punt, you just get the hell away from the ball. And I don't think he has to worry about that problem anymore ever again. I'm pretty sure he's done playing football professionally at this sort of a level. I can't wait to see what he does in the UFL? Is that the spring league? He'll probably be coming to Memphis for a football game. He'll probably play the Showboats one day.
Better learn Memphis Showboats,
buddy. Learn what is Birmingham Stallions.
I hope the Memphis Showboats have some cool gear this year. I got to be honest, I did a closet clean out, and the Memphis Showboats t-shirt did not make the keep pile. I wanted it to, because it feels cool. The logo's cool.
It's going to be a
It
throwback.
was like a weird gray color.
Yeah.
It just didn't work for me. So shout out at Memphis Showboats. Get some cool gear this year.
We talked about potential draft things to draft.
Yes.
The people in the chat want us to draft worlds that we want these sports things
down.
to happen. All right.
Sounds great.
So we'll figure out how to word it. But
Okay.
that'll be what we do.
I can't wait for the Harry Potter game.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, that would be incredible. Oh, look
Harry
at how
Potter
they
games would
did.
be awesome.
Look at how they did Stephen A. Smith. They brought Stephen A. Smith onto this thing. He was just spouting nonsense, one. And two, the graphics on these things are confusing to me. I don't want to say
Why?
confounding because it doesn't look good.
Oh, yeah, no.
The-
It looked better than I thought it did, though, which played to its advantage because I thought it was going to look atrocious. And it looked better than what I envisioned it looking like.
I think it did.
The game broadcast looked better than I thought it would look like as well.
The Toy Story one had glitches, but the Toy Story one looked good from Andy's room. Like
Sure.
it visually, it
The
looked,
world building
the
was
world,
better.
it just looked better.
Yeah.
And again, why are we choosing Ralph to go out and run routes?
Again, we don't know.
All right,
We don't know.
You
But
could
we
put
do know.
Marge Simpson with her new bosom out there. She
How
could
I
have
envision
she could have
it.
been a cheerleader.
She could have.
Got Lisa out here running
Can
routes.
you imagine the documentary that because they're doing another
Cowboys
season
thing?
of
Okay.
the Cowboys cheerleaders? When Chris's mom and stepdad were here for Thanksgiving and the Cowboys cheerleaders kept popping up, we were like, "Oh, we know them." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Oh, we watched them on a documentary, so like we know who they are." "Oh, there's Reese. I know her." I don't really know her. So if it was
Which one
Marge,
of
that'd be
those
great.
cheerleaders is engaged to the Bengals player?
I don't know. I saw that.
Okay.
She wasn't featured on the show. Unfamiliar with her work. Before we get to Mike Wallace, we did find out the Heisman Trophy finalists, which were announced during the Monday Night Football pregame show. Turn the music off for 1 second, CJ, because we'll just do a quick hit on this because to no real surprise, the finalists this year are Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty, Dylan Gabriel, and Cam Ward. So those are your 4 Heisman finalists. They will head to New York City where we will find out who wins this year's Heisman. And when I saw those pop up on my screen last night, I couldn't help but think in any other year, Ashton Genty would run away with this award. But unfortunately for Ashton Genty, he has to go up against something we just don't see, which is a player who has the impact of 2 elite players in one body. And that is Travis Hunter, two-way player, racked up 15 total touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 31 tackles, 1 forced fumble, played over 150 snaps. And I've seen a lot of discourse on the Heisman race between Genty and Hunter, and it feels like you always have to remind people that the Heisman Award is not an MVP award. It is not the most valuable player for a team. It is the best player in college football. So yes, you take Ashton Genty off of Boise State, and what are they? Almost certainly not a college football playoff representative. But I would also argue if you take Travis Hunter off Colorado, while yes, they had a fringe Heisman contender in Shedeur Sanders and they have a better receiving core and they have a good defense, I don't think Colorado's 9-3 without Travis Hunter either. But it comes down to Travis Hunter being something we just don't see. That does not take away from Ashton Genty being 4th all-time in rushing yards. That does not take away from him having more rushing yards than 2 Heisman winners in Derrick Henry and Marcus Allen. You're just up against a unicorn in Travis Hunter. I'm glad that we don't have a quarterback winning the Heisman. That makes it fun. But there's going to be a lot of conversations on who this should go to. I still stand. It has to be Travis Hunter. Have you changed at all?
No, it's still Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Wait, which way was I at first?
You were Travis Hunter.
Yes,
We've been Travis Hunter for
it's
as long as
still-
he played through the season and Colorado kept winning.
We don't make dudes who are great defensive backs and great wide receivers. All right, he's great at both of those things. Now, that's not to take away from Ashton Genty's greatness.
Right.
He has more rushing yards. We talked about this on the odds couple when we talked about Boise State getting into the playoffs and what that would mean for them. But Ashton Genty has more rushing yards than I do believe 100 teams.
Yes.
And in the CFB. And if you treated him like he was his own team, just Ashton Genty, the running back, is his own team. He has more 50-yard rushes than everybody else in the nation. He's sitting there at 12. Notre Dame and Navy both come in second at 7. He has more 40-yard rushes than anybody else in the nation. More 60-yard rushes than anybody else in the nation. I do believe more 30-yard rushes than anybody else in the nation. My point is that man is toting the tater better than anybody in the nation. And we don't see running backs like that come through here often. And when we do, they usually typically get the Heisman Trophy because it is such a special season that they're having. To your point, when you're going up against a guy who I think is top 15 in passes defended, who might be second or third in his conference in interceptions on the season. Somebody who's also, I do believe, leading the conference in receptions and receiving yards and touchdowns, right? He's doing all of that. While not being off of the field, he's playing both offense and defense. The only time he gets to rest is if there's a snap or a field goal, or not a snap, a punt or a field goal or a kickoff. Like, yo, that dude, if he's playing at an elite level, and Travis Hunter that's the Heisman winner to me. So.
The end. But it's not the end, because we'll see who actually wins it when the ceremony takes place. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, Mike Wallace
CJ, stop
will
the
join
music.
us.
We're not going to talk about the hockey brawl? The teddy bear toss brawl? Look at this. Something so beautiful, so sweet. We're throwing teddy bears on the court. 'Tis the season to give the kids.
It's the ice.
Throwing it on the ice. Wherever we throwing these teddy bears, look up, turn the lights on. These dudes is brawling out here. Teddy bears for the children. The Grinch is on the ice. He's confused. Like, what do you think? I know, I'm a commercial. They're rolling around on the ice with teddy bears around them for the children. There's a giant unicorn right there for the children, and they are scrapping it up. I love that. That's the sports I come for right there. They're still going.
I've seen one of those with my own eyes.
What, a teddy bear
A fight
toss?
during a teddy bear toss.
Really?
Yeah, Tri-City Americans. This is just another day in the hockey world. Just another day.
How can you have that much malice in your heart for something so
Being
pure?
surrounded by stuffed animals?
That's like the first quarter ending. You know, Iowa turns and waves to the children. That's like the first quarter ending, and people are turning to wave, and nope, we're just fighting it out on the football field. To hell with them kids. You got to catch these hands.
Purdue comes, plants a flag right at that moment.
At the end of the first quarter.
F them kids.
Let's go.
All right, Mike Wallace joins us on the other side. We will talk about the second best team in the Western Conference, the Memphis Grizzlies, who have a nice 4 days off as NBA Cup action begins tonight. We'll chat with Mike about the Grizzlies' success when we come back.
Yellow laces, really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges.
I gotta get 'em.
And you've got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Grizzlies are just having fun out there tonight. Morant around a screen, bumped by Wagner. No look to Smart, lays it up on the window and in, and it is all Grizz. The Grizzlies have the fans on their feet at FedEx Forum.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
This team is doing everything that Taylor Jenkins and his coaching staff envisioned it could do.
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Somebody who really has done what they were supposed to do, or maybe wasn't expected to do, is Jalen Wells, the Western Conference Rookie of the Month.
What you're seeing right now is him showing that, hey, no matter where I was going to go in the draft, I was going to be ready.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Jacob, you bum, are you gonna count me in? Good grief.
Welcome back. It is Tuesday. That means it is time to catch up with Grind City Media senior editor Mike Wallace. Mike, how are you enjoying these 4 days off that the Memphis Grizzlies have gifted us by not being involved with NBA Cup play?
Hey, well, I tell you what, I think I have a young daughter who appreciated being off last night because I was able to go to her winter concert, and more things that are happening this week that I'll be able to get a chance to do family-wise. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing, and the Grizzlies needed it too. Like what a way to go into a break, man! Winning 9 out of your last 10, exercising some demons in Boston, and then coming back the next night with a professional effort against the Washington Wizards. You knew you had to beat them, and you just bludgeoned them up and down the court. And, now you go into this little break and you say, okay, let's reset for what's going to come the rest of December. So the Grizzlies are in a great space right now, and they set a standard that it's okay to hold them to the rest of the way based on how they played these last 2 weeks.
What was the best song at the winter concert?
Ooh, it was a medley. They finished it with a medley between the chorus, the choir, and the orchestra, right? Middle school orchestra was phenomenal, and they did a medley of Christmas songs. So they hit all the ones that did not make me and CJ's pick 6 from last week of our favorite Christmas songs. So they hit all of the rest of them from there, man. So it was a good medley to end it, and what a fantastic performance out there. Shout out, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Shout out to Lakeland Prep School's middle school band and high school band performing together. One of many, and I'm sure there are a lot of great concerts and bands around this region in the city, and I'm looking forward to seeing some more of them.
They didn't do Temptation Silent Night?
They
didn't have anybody to hit the high note?
They didn't hit that one, man, but they did put a little bit of soul in a couple of other ones, though. The piano player had a little riff with her. You know what I mean? So she might have been a descendant of someone who worked at Stax at some point or another, because she had some soul with her. So I give her credit for that.
All right. Well, the Grizzlies deserve a lot of credit and have gotten credit. Now, have won 9 of their last 10 games. They're 17-8, and they are now up to 5th in the latest NBA power rankings, up from 9 where they were ranked last week. The top 5 is Cleveland at number 1 at 21-4, Boston, the team the Grizzlies beat over the weekend, at 19-5, Oklahoma City 18-5, Dallas 16-8, the only team to beat the Grizzlies over this past 10-game stretch, and then Memphis right in there at number 5. When you look at the success of this team, Mike, what has been the biggest contributor to helping turn them into a perceived contender?
I think it's something that, Taylor Jenkins sometimes gets criticized for, and his commitment to making sure that there's balance up and down the roster, that they're playing 11 guys consistently, and that he's trusting the bench to come through and deliver in big moments. There's not a lot of pressure on Ja Morant to have to play 35 minutes a game. Jaren Jackson Jr. has been the best player to me, the most consistent player in the Western Conference has been Jaren Jackson Jr. And I say that knowing full well that Luka Doncic is dynamic. I say that full well knowing, I take it back. Nikola Jokic has been the most consistent player in the Western Conference. But Jaren is right there behind him in terms of how he's impacted his team. And when you look at the records and performances, Jaren is playing for a team that's played better than Denver has through the first 25 games of the season so far. So I think Jaren's steady leadership and ability to adjust to no matter who's available around him, and the depth that the Grizzlies have shown, particularly with guys like Santi Aldama, Jake LaRavia's big-time improvement, Scottie Pippen's ready play, and then other guys who have stepped in and out depending on what the night calls for. So that's been the biggest. And you asked me for one, but it's kind of been like a gumbo of contributions for these guys, and that's why they're where they are.
Well, it's been a jumbo of stats that stand out for this team too. They're the only team that's top 7 in both offensive rating and defensive rating. When you look at first in points, 5th in offensive rating, 6th in defensive rating, 4th in net rating, 2nd in pace, 3rd in rebound percentage, 4th in offensive rebound percentage, 7th in true shooting percentage. Which of those stats has been the most surprising to you?
I would say one that you didn't mention, 2nd in bench scoring. Right. Yeah. I would say that because, you have to be able to, and this is 2nd in bench scoring with, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ja Morant being available for majority of the games. Not all of them, but for majority of them. And you still are getting contributions off the bench, man. And I think, to me, that's the one stat. All those other stats are great. When you play faster and you take a lot of shots, your pace is going to be top 5 or whatever. When you defend and you show a commitment to defense, we've seen the Grizzlies defend at a top 10 level before. We've seen them score the ball the way they've scored it. But to be able to get the consistent presence and effort from the bench, night in and night out, I think that's the one thing that stands out the most to me in terms of the stats and the rankings of where they are.
You mentioned Jake LaRavia, and he's been a big part of that depth. He is tied for 7th in the entire NBA in total plus minus this season. The Grizzlies have a plus 15.9 net rating when he is on the court. How have you seen Jake grown into one of the better role players in the NBA, and how has that affected the Grizzlies' success?
Well, when he came in, when he was drafted, when the Grizzlies selected him, in the midway through the first round of the draft 3 or 4 years ago, his calling card was like offense. He was supposed to be, offensively smooth, big guy who can shoot, who can pass, who can do a lot of things versatility-wise on the offensive end. What we're seeing from Jake right now is just a physical toughness, a commitment to the defensive side, the ability to play dirty. And I'm not saying dirty as in cheap shots, but get himself dirty, get on the floor for loose balls, extend possessions. It seems like every time that there's an offensive rebound, it's Jake LaRavia in the mix, tapping it back to his teammates to get another possession there. He's not afraid to score. He knows his offense can be there if it's needed. But he said, okay, how can I be successful on this team? How can I make sure I'm getting minutes night in and night out? We already have guys that are going to shoot the three. We already have guys that are going to be playmakers and facilitators. What do we need that we're not getting on a regular basis? And that's just guys who are willing to get in the middle, in the trenches, and do the dirty work, dig out 50-50 balls, keep possessions alive, and just play tough defense. And that's what Jake LaRavia has done to sort of transform, what his image was coming into the league. And I think that's what's going to keep him in the rotation as we move forward.
One of the other standouts, there's been so many standouts, but the play of Brandon Clark, and especially coming off his 18-point performance against the Celtics, he looks exactly like the BC of old, Mike. And I was reading a piece up at the Daily Memphian about his return this season, and he talked about the best thing for him and the thing that he's most proud of is when he wakes up, he doesn't think about his leg. And I totally get that. It takes a lot of time coming off of an Achilles surgery where you're not thinking about your leg. You're also not thinking about other parts of your body that have gone a little awry because of the overcompensation. And as you're working back, he dealt with some knee problems early in this season. But since Taylor Jenkins inserted him into this starting lineup, how important has he been for the Grizzlies' front court efforts and to make Jaren Jackson Jr. more effective in his own right?
Well, those two guys have a chemistry and a continuity that goes back 6 years now. Like, they trust one another. They know where one another is going to be. They know how to play off of one another in intense moments. Like, that was the front court that was in the playoffs, 3 years ago. Like, they have playoff basketball in intensity and adversity. They've come through it together. They've both seen each other through some devastating injuries and some rehabs and some of those kind of things. So they have even when you talk to those guys and you see them talk among each other in the locker room, there's a personal level of connection there that just doesn't exist with everybody else because they have a little bit of a deeper relationship there. So it doesn't surprise me that what we see off the court between Jaren and BC translate to the chemistry that they have on the court. And it is good. You talked about the physical things that Brandon no longer has to really worry about when he steps on the court. It takes a long time. I mean, Achilles injury, you know, you just got to give somebody 2 seasons, you know, to get back to where they are. Even if, you know, once you're healthy enough to get back to the court, you still need another full season after that before you get all of your faculties about you and trust yourself. And the kind of player that he is, he relies on that pogo stick mentality, that athleticism, attacking the rim, floaters in the lane, going up against bigger guys. Every night he's defending someone who's much bigger than he is. And that takes a lot of lower body strength to be able to do that. So kudos to Brandon, man. He's looking great, and it's working right now. And he's doing that with Zach Edey, you know, your lottery pick, sitting out right now because of an ankle injury. But when Zach gets healthy, I think Taylor is still going to stay with Brandon as long as the team is producing the way it is.
Yeah, and that chemistry, you see it. Like, he always is there for Ja's passes. Like, learning how to catch Ja Morant's passes and to be available, and just that heads-up mentality, because what Ja does in midair with decision-making can be so quick. You see that connection between the two of them that just helps everything level up. Speaking of Ja, I think we have our new best running bit in the NBA, Mike, and that is Ja saying, "I'm never going to dunk again." And then, he didn't say I'm never going to dunk again, but I'm not dunking this season. And then turning around and throwing down one of the best dunks. It might be the best dunk when we get to the end of this season. And now we sit in this will he, won't he space where the surprise factor of Ja dunking has added another level to the highlights that we have come to know and love.
That's the showmanship. That's the gamesmanship and the showmanship that Ja Morant brings to the table. I mean, he makes you want to, you know, he makes you look forward to what he's going to do next on the basketball floor. No matter what possession it is, no matter what point in the game it is, whenever he has the basketball, there's a level of wow that you feel every time you see him play. So, you know, the dunk thing, I never took that seriously. Like he's such an instinctive player that if the rim is open and available and he has an opportunity to space and sky his way to it, I don't think he's just going to not dunk it, right? He's got to go out of his way to get that high up in the air and not dunk the ball in, right? So I never believed it. I never bought into it. You know, that's just something that he does with the media every once in a while when he wants to, you know, to get a little bit more love and attention for what Ja's doing. But this is a guy that's incredible. We know he's one of the best, if not the best athlete in the NBA right now, and his team is playing well. He's coming off of what should have been a triple-double in Boston. You know, the stats kind of went back and forth with whether he had that extra assist or not, but at the end of the day, or rebound or not, but at the end of the day, to have that kind of performance in Boston, a place that they haven't won in 11 years, a place that he's never won at since he's been in the NBA, and to be able to do that against, you know, the defending NBA champs, you know, set a tone. And again, to me, real quick, as I watched that game, I said the Grizzlies set the foundation. The root of this victory was established by the way they exited Dallas earlier in the week, and the accountability that they took and the responsibility that they took for the performance and letting that fourth quarter go haywire the way it did with the fouling and the attitude and the issues. When they walked out of Dallas, I said, this team is going to get it right. And because I heard something different than what I've heard before from these guys. And they carried that into Sacramento, and then by the time they got to Boston, they weren't going to be defeated.
Well, and even how they handled the fourth quarter of the Sacramento game. For Ja to get thrown out, it would have been very easy to let that game go and then to spend post-game having a chance to blame the wrong call that led to Ja's ejection. And instead, they got out a win, and you're able to go with the growth from game to game. Then they go into Boston, get a win, like you said, in a place that has been evasive for them to win in for over a decade. And then they turn around and they beat the Wizards in emphatic fashion the next day. And I know Ja and Dez sit from that game, but just showing the professional nature of this team. We talked about it a bit with Gary yesterday, but when you go through things in life, this goes for you and me and every person in the world and NBA players too. When you face adversity, you learn, and you don't always enact change, but I've seen a team that learned something and now is handling themselves in a much more mature, and I don't say mature in like a scolding way, but just the fact of the matter is, like, the maturation of this team will be a factor in them ultimately trying to chase a run for a championship.
And it should. It's time. right? Like as much as because we've seen this team literally grow up before our eyes, we kind of, lose concept of time and space, right? These guys are in their mid to late, they're approaching their late 20s. They've been together 5, 6, 7 years now. How many teams can you look at around the NBA and say this core has been together for 5 years? There are not many there. Taylor Jenkins is one of the longest tenured coaches in the NBA, and it seems like he just got here. So you have to be able to deliver right now. This is your window. So I give them credit for maturing, but it also should be happening in this space. And what I see from this team is that, they're not on, and I'm not saying this in a critical way, but 2 years ago, they went on every single whim that Ja Morant went on, whether it was ups, downs, highs, lows, joking, we're fine in the West. Like everybody just loaded up behind Ja's mentality. And now you're seeing guys, stay home true to who they are, right? Desmond Bane knows, okay, I'm not shooting or playing offense as well as I need to. It's not going to impact the team, but I need to get right. He's working on getting right. Jaren Jackson Jr. is as steady and even-keeled as I've ever seen him. He's like, okay, we can do this one night, and I'm going to do this the next night, but it's my turn to close games out. He's fine doing that. Santi Aldama is a different Santi Aldama. BC has gone through his adversity that you talked about, and they've all gone through those things individually to say, okay, we can't waste time right now. And that's the mentality that they're having right now. The time is now for the Grizzlies, and they're playing like it right now.
All right, before I let you go, while the Grizzlies get to, I won't say kick their feet up and rest, they get some practice, they get to let their bodies recover. It's an awesome week for the Grizzlies to miss the NBA Cup action when it actually comes down to it, because outside of the All-Star break, you just don't get 4 nights off in an 82-game season in the NBA. But for the teams that are playing, we get the knockout rounds beginning tonight, Mike, and the first 2 games will be Magic Bucks. We also get Mavs Thunder. So those are the 2 games tonight. The 2 games tomorrow are Hawks Knicks and Warriors Rockets. Which of those matchups excites you the most?
I really like the Magic and the Bucks at the top, and I really love Golden State and the Rockets, because I want to say those teams just played a couple of games ago, and to see what the Rockets are doing, you kind of got to scratch your rub your eyes and be like, am I really seeing what this team is doing? I mean, the way that they played, the way that they elevated themselves, that could be potentially, and I said it at the beginning of the season, man. The way they finished last season, what they did coming into this season, the Rockets could be the most dangerous team in the West, because you really don't see them coming. You're really not buying into what they're doing. They don't do anything that just jumps off the page at you. Whereas the Grizzlies aren't the overlook, because you see Ja Morant. You see what Jaren Jackson Jr. is doing. I think the league has a healthy respect for the Grizzlies. But the Rockets are still kind of mysterious in that way. That team is going to be one I'm going to watch closely coming down the stretch. But, yeah, Orlando too, man. Now that they've had these injuries, it's unfortunate. Obliques, man, that's the new knee sprain. Is the obliques.
Do those crunches.
Yeah, right. You gotta.
Core strength is the most important strength. That's what the doctor tells me.
They take it because that's your base. That's your foundation.
Everything goes through there.
Stars, man. Obliques have taken out 2 of their stars. I think they're going to come back a little bit, but definitely Rockets and Warriors are going to be the most fun game to me.
All right, Mike, rest your obliques. We'll see you back in the building on Friday when the Grizzlies face the Nets, a chance to avenge the only team that's beaten them twice this season. We'll see you there for the warm-up.
All right, take it easy now.
That was Mike Wallace. You can find his latest up at grindcitymedia.com. You can catch him every Grizzlies home day on the Grind City Media warm-up. Will Coleman just walked into the studio, and he has a plate that is stacked high of tinfoil, and he has just been lurking in the back corner. He brought treats. He brought treats.
Come this way, right here. Look at that. Look at that.
He's here.
Let's go!
He brought things to make the Tigers' loss to Arkansas State a little more bearable. We'll eat treats. We'll talk about Memphis falling out of the top 25. We'll look ahead to their game against Clemson this weekend.
We'll eat whatever the hell
and
this is.
And we will eat whatever Will brought. We'll find out. Ooh, I see frosting. We'll be back.
Get Get the squad together for this year's Junior Grizzlies 3-on-3 tournament. Presented by 2K at the Built Ford Tough practice facility inside FedEx Forum. On Saturday, January 4th, teams will compete in 3 games before advancing to single elimination play. Overall winners from the 10 and under, 12 and under, and 14 and under divisions will win Grizzlies tickets, including exclusive access to the pregame team shoot-around before the Grizz take on the Pelicans January 24th. Sign up today at hoopitup.com/Grizzlies. Hoop on the Grizzlies home court at Junior Grizzlies Game Day Clinics presented by Ortho South. Clinics are open to kids ages 6 to 14 and last 60 minutes. The next clinic tips off December 23rd, the same day the Grizzlies play the Clippers. All skill levels are welcome, from beginner to competitive athlete. Sign up now before spots sell out at grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies. Registration includes a Junior Grizzlies t-shirt and 2 tickets to the game that day.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Look at that. We got the whole Grizzlies team just infiltrated our studio. Santi Aldama's in the house. Look at everybody. The whole Grizzlies team. Look at Zach Edey's in the house. John Morant's in the house. Say hello. Say hello.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
How about them Tigers? Go Tigers. Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
ESPN put out a list. Top 30 best pro wrestlers under 30 in the world today. Number 1, Dirty Dom. Number 2, MJF.
I think Dom is deserving to be number 1. I think he is probably, like I said, one of the greatest heels in the last 10, 15 years. Like you said, he can't talk on a microphone.
The fans love it because they feel like they're a part of the show.
And that's the best.
Without their booze, he's not the best heel.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back. If you're joining us live, our chat question of the day, who is the best team in the NBA right now? And by God, I wonder where we live. Because the Grizzlies, with 60% of the vote, they were 5th in the new NBA power rankings. Celtics with 17% of the vote, Cavs with 16% of the vote, and the Thunder with 6% of the vote. If you are with us, go ahead, smash that like button. Help us get off into the algorithm unknown. And I smell a sweet treat because Will Coleman has sat down, and I think he has cake. CJ, let our guest speak and introduce what he brought to the table.
All right, so the one thing, and it's a blessing and a curse. First off, cooking is one of my love languages, so if I cook for you, you got a special place.
Oh my God, CJ, Will loves us.
Crazy thing is, Will, eating is one of my love languages. So
Sweet treats are one of my love languages. So here we are.
The blessing and the curse about making baking sweet treats from
Yes.
scratch in the morning is if you have to put icing on it, the cake is still relatively warm, so the icing.
Oh no, the icing is
So my
melted.
presentation it's not what I want it to be. But before we get into all things like you guys have scheduled, I have cinnamon roll pound cake.
Oh my God.
You have a what?
Cinnamon roll pound cake.
Open it, prove it. You're lying.
I have been craving cinnamon rolls too.
Ain't no way it's
Holy,
Ain't no way in hell Will Coleman.
there is a hole in that cake, and it is holy.
Look at that, all that frosting.
That is
It's
stunning.
still warm, so the cake kind of melted the icing, but
The cake stuns.
I think it's still
The cake serves.
legit.
I think it's still legit. It
except
smells incredible.
Icing's melting everywhere. So I want you guys to go ahead and cut that and dive into it.
Thank you, CJ.
Oh, I'm cutting yours too.
Yes, please. That would be really nice. While you cut, it is wonderful that you brought in such a nice treat to help
Yes, that's my piece.
us have this upcoming conversation, Will, because unfortunately, the Memphis Tigers, previously ranked 16th in the AP Top 25, now out of the AP Top 25 after losing
That's
to
crazy.
Arkansas State. Like a small piece. That's good. That's perfect. Thank you. Make sure the icing gets on there. They lost to Arkansas State. That's what it comes down to. They get knocked out of the AP Top 25. To make matters worse, he forgot the forks. To make matters worse, CJ forgot the forks, and the Tennessee Volunteers are the #1 team in the country after 14 ranked teams lost this week. But as we had Gary Parrish on the show yesterday, he said, yes, 14 ranked teams lost. Memphis was one of those teams. However, no team suffered a loss as bad as Memphis losing to Arkansas State. What was your response, your reaction to watching that game on Sunday?
First and foremost, I just when stuff like this happens, it truly shows how many fair weather fans we have. I mean, Sunday afternoon, prime time, everybody should be in town. It's not the holidays. The Forum looked like, no disrespect to anybody, but for what our program is, the Forum looked like we was out there like some NAIA team. It was the Forum was dead. And I know I've stressed a lot of times how much of a difference the fans make when they come to a game, but the fact of the matter is they came and hit us in the mouth, man.
Yeah.
When you got a team like Arkansas State, and they said it numerous times that Arkansas State hadn't been a ranked team since like 1963 or something crazy.
30 years.
It's something crazy. But when you got a team like Arkansas State and they come in, they have nothing to lose, so they just play free. When we have all the pressure, it's kind of dangerous. So it's CJ.
CJ's going to just chill in the back corner. I would also have loved to have shown people the size of CJ's piece versus the size of my piece. Is it good? Is it good?
Is it good?
Is it good? Oh, and it's warm. Oh, that's delightful. I was really going to try to come out of Thanksgiving and challenge myself not to eat sugar going into the holidays. That lasted. That's delectable. Much better than, you're right. And Penny brought it up in his radio show yesterday too, that there are players on that Arkansas State team who wanted to come to Memphis.
Yeah.
So it becomes personal. There's a taking it personal. Memphis is our Super Bowl of the season, or our championship game of the 2024 slate of our schedule. And it was tough. I will go back to the crowd because I was surprised that coming off of the game against Louisiana Tech, the crowd was abysmal at that game. But that was Tuesday, right?
Yeah, it was. That was an awkward
Tuesday
night. Yeah.
It was cold. We talked about it on the show. Bible study. Some people, there was a laundry list of excuses on every comment that was made on the Tigers' attendance for that game.
Right.
But included in it was, I bet there will be more people in the arena on Sunday, a Sunday afternoon with families coming out. At that point, Memphis, 16th ranked team in the country. Sure, it's Arkansas State, but there's a regional nature to that as well. And I did have to say when I turned it on, I was pretty bummed at the look.
It looked worse.
Yeah.
It looked worse than the Tuesday game. And it's like, why? How? Why? Do we just, I don't understand what the problem is. I don't know, man. We can talk about the fans another day, but the problem is, like I said, we came out, we got popped, we got hit in the mouth first, didn't know how to respond, and Arkansas State came out with something to prove, and they did exactly that. and we took one on the chin for it.
What concerns you the most?
We dropping the ball when we're not supposed to. You know, and I knew it was going to be a tough game coming out. Just like I said, you got a team that's never, that hadn't beat, it's just on paper we supposed to smack them. On paper. Looking at the resumes and looking at what we've done, we supposed to beat them by, 10, 15, 20 points. But, when they come out with nothing to lose, a lot of guys angry. It's personal. The rim looked like it was, 6 feet wide to some of those guys, the way they were shooting the ball. I mean, we just, we only had one guy really rolling, Haggerty. He's the one that really only showed up. So when you pile all that on top of one another, it's damn near impossible to get a win.
Yeah, Arkansas State, a lot of wide open threes. I was balancing that game with NFL Sunday, and it felt like every time my eyes were back on the Tigers, they were giving up another wide open three, and Arkansas State made 12 threes. They go 12 of 36 in the game, give up 85 points. Ultimately, though, starting immediately after the game in Penny's comments, and then also again last night, is this notion of we can't let this be like last year.
Yeah.
And after the game, he expressed confidence that it won't be. And he cited the strength of this team physically and mentally as a difference. What do you see in this group that gives you confidence as CJ comes and gives you a giant hug because this might be the best thing that you've ever made?
I thank you for all your
Do you think it's the best thing he's made?
For all that you do. It's up there. He's made some good stuff.
You make a great bundt cake because the other one that comes to mind is the sweet potato bundt cake that you made. These are right up there. I'm gonna have another piece. I'm just gonna be perfectly clear. However, what makes you think that this Tigers team is different?
I've said it before. I think we got a group of guys who are willing to rally together when something like this happens, versus, guys playing the blame game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. Oh wow! I just saw that counter. CJ, are you still eating Thanksgiving leftovers?
Don't talk to him about it. He's disgusting. He's
Shut up,
disgusting.
Jacob.
You hear other Jacob?
Yes,
he said
I
he's
am.
insane.
That's
yes,
nuts.
I am.
But anyway,
finish your thought, because I got questions about the Tigers also.
I think we got a group of guys who's going to rally together, lift each other up, and figure out what we need to do before we go into the next game, versus people blaming who, blaming what. Now, it very well could turn into, I don't know what the locker room looked like, but it very well could turn into, well, X making, so-and-so making $600,000, you need to do something. Or so-and-so making $300,000, you need to, come on, man, you supposed to be a leader. You the most liked, blah, blah, blah. It could turn into like that. It could easily turn into that in any locker room across the country. Mm-hmm. But I don't think we have that. I think we got some guys that are willing to ride this out for the long haul and really stick together.
It's sports you can get, it's emotional, right? Going out there competing is an emotional thing. That game to start, Arkansas State is jawing with Memphis because, again, a lot of those dudes wanted to come to Memphis. Everybody is familiar with one another. Right. And they're looking at it as, you didn't want me here. You took this person over me. I'm going to go out there and show you a thing or two about my game. Whereas the Memphis Tigers players are, no. He made the right decision. You're there. I'm here, and I deserve to be here. So there's some jawing going on. And immediately, I thought wrongly, both times, the referee stepped in and assessed first the technical to the Arkansas State team, and then another technical the very next possession, or maybe two possessions later, to the Memphis team. And I was wondering, for you as a player who's played in some pretty contentious environments, when the referees step in and do that and say, hey, no, we are not going to allow this to become that type of a game where emotions run wild and blood and temper can rise. What does that do to you as a player mentally? How do you have to adjust your game to handle that?
I think it depends on your supporting cast. And I think refs can do a couple things in that situation. They can control the game and be buttholes about it. Or they can...
Sorry, we don't say buttholes enough.
Oh.
Say butthole as much as you want.
I said we don't say it enough.
Say it more, Will, is what she wants you to do.
It's a great insult.
We are pro buttholes on this show.
Well, you got your refs. They can.
It made me laugh. I haven't heard somebody say
control.
As you shove cake down your gullet.
Exactly.
a ref could, be a butthole about it and totally disrupt the flow of the game, or you got some refs who will control it to a certain extent and let the game ride. And I was talking to a ref the other day. I know it's a high school game, but I'm talking to Willie. I got Willie Kemp, who has an amazing team at Whitehaven. Referee's playing. He's at the game reffing the Whitehaven and the I think it's Ridgeway game. You got a guy come down. They're jawing at each other. It's in the city. Memphis City basketball is a world of its own. But you got a guy, he dunks the ball from a lob, and he runs by. He's running down the floor, and he blows a kiss at the cheerleaders. Now, a ref could have easily been like, Tech, we're not doing that. It's done. But instead, you got guys playing safe. They not cussing each other out. They not fighting. They not getting physical, So the environment is great. The kids are enjoying it, stuff like that. So you got a ref who can potentially destroy the flow of a game or enhance it. But depending on your temper or the type of person you are, that's all solely dependent upon the type of cash you have around you.
I felt like after the tech, I forget who got the tech on Memphis, but after that, right, like Memphis dialed back some of the fight. And that's what that game was going to be. Arkansas State wanted to come in and make it a fight, and they did. And I felt like after that tech got assessed, Memphis sort of dialed that back some, and I think it was to their detriment. And we can talk about the three-point defense, which is a problem, or how difficult the shots that they're taking are to make, and now you can't bank on making those types of shots night in, night out. But in a game that got pretty emotional, for the emotion to be taken out of it by the referees, I think that did Memphis way more harm than it did Arkansas State.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, we got hit in the mouth first. Just like the way we played when we were in Maui, we come out the gate swinging. Arkansas State came in here like, man, we about to pop these guys. They don't want us in here. The coach didn't want us. The staff didn't want us. Let's go out here. Let's get them riled up, and let's play some basketball, and let's get the dub and get out of here.
You hope that they're able to take the approach that they took in Maui with a couple of these upcoming opponents before they get to AAC play, starting with Clemson on Saturday, number 16 Clemson. So of their last 4 non-conference games, 3 of those teams are ranked right now. Clemson at 16th, Mississippi State at 25th, and Ole Miss at 19th. That game against Ole Miss is at home, and I will use that as a quick plug. Get in the building for the game for Memphis, Ole Miss, and that's one of those that you shouldn't have to say, and hopefully you don't have to encourage people to come, and that's just when people come to. But as it pertains to Clemson coming up this weekend, biggest key to turning this around, is it simply approaching it in that matter of, all right, this team has a number in front of their name and we're able to get up more, or is there something else there?
Just win and take care of everything. We need to go. I know it sounds crazy. We need to go 3-0. I feel like that's the only way to kind of not
It doesn't
erase.
sound crazy. You have to do it going into AAC play.
To erase or even remotely forget about what just happened with this Arkansas State game. We got to clean up. We got to go 3-0, and we got to finish out this non-conference schedule. It's non-conference schedule. These games, we got to take advantage, and we got to grab every single one, because that Arkansas State game is going to stick out like a sore thumb come March when it's time to start selecting teams. It's just gonna be there with bright red lights blinking at everybody when they start selecting these teams, and that's gonna hurt us. So we need to clean up as much as we can before we go into conference play.
Right, and one of the reasons it's going to hurt is because the American is so bad.
It's so bad.
Over the weekend,
it's so bad.
Memphis loses to Arkansas State on Sunday, which is a bummer here, obviously.
Yeah.
But when you look at the scoreboard for the American on Saturday, South Florida lost to Loyola Chicago. Tulane lost to George Mason. UTSA lost to Arkansas. East Carolina lost to South Carolina. Tulsa lost to Southern. Temple lost to Villanova. The only team to win on Saturday was Wichita State, who beat East Tennessee State. And Wichita State, right now, the best team in the American at 8-1. You just don't have a whole lot of room for mistakes. And I understand the frustration, and I didn't hear Penny's comments last night. I read them through Jason Munz's Twitter profile, trying to go through and just stay up to date on what was said. But talking about how when it comes to Memphis, and I don't want to misquote, but saying that, when Memphis loses a game, for Memphis, it's the worst thing in the world. But unfortunately, that's the reality for this team. It can be unfair. Mm-hmm. Realities can be unfair all the time, but they're still a reality.
It is.
Yeah.
The sooner people don't understand, the NCAA don't like us. They just don't. So whenever something happens, I don't care if we in a kick the can competition. If we lose, the NCAA gonna let us know, and they gonna hold it over our head, and we gonna get punished for it, whether it may be in the rankings, postseason play. Man, if somebody came up here and said
I love your
Nick Jourdain was chewing bubble gum when he wasn't supposed to, the NCAA gonna grab it and hold it over our head and gonna punish us for it.
I mean, that may be true, but you can't lose to Arkansas State and then
I know, but that's what I'm saying. You can't.
And last year, you can't lose 4 straight in this piss poor conference. 4 straight.
Yeah.
That month of January was rough, especially towards the end of it. Mm-hmm. They lost to what? Rice, Tulane, East Carolina. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was nasty.
You can't do that and then clamor, oh, the NCAA hates us, right? Because you're not giving yourself, you're not painting yourself in the best light. That's like me saying, policing is a big problem in this nation. I was unjustly arrested. Well, CJ, what happened? I don't know. I was walking down the street, walked past a police officer, and a whole kilo of cocaine fell out of my pocket, and he arrested me for it, right? Like you're giving them all the reason they need.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
CJ, you had a kilo of coke on you. You're supposed to get arrested for that. Memphis, you lost 4 straight in a bad conference, and you finished where in the conference? 5th, 6th in that bad conference? You're not supposed to be in the tournament.
Right.
You went out there and lost to Arkansas State at home. Like, you don't get to clamor and say, hey, it's unfair that we are no longer in the top 25. Mm-hmm. Sure, the wins over UConn looks good. Sure, the win over Michigan State looks good. Yes, the win over Missouri looks better with their win over Kansas this weekend. But that loss to Arkansas State right now looks real, real bad. And that's enough to move you out of the top 25. Thankfully for Memphis, hey, you got a couple more games in the out-of-conference to play, and then you got your conference schedule, so you can make some of that up. But you don't get to say, the NCAA hates us, they're out to get us, when you're the one losing to bad teams routinely at home, no less.
Right. And I agree with you. I'll agree, and I'll piggyback on that. And I think for that reason, that's why we need to take care of what we need to take care of. Yeah, the NCAA doesn't like us, but like I said, we need to finish up 3-0 because we can't give them reasons to not like us anymore. So we have to go out here and just take it game by game. We have to. It's a must. We have to finish 3-0 before we start conference play because our conference is abysmal.
Well, don't give them any of this cinnamon roll cake because they'll need a nap because I had 2 pieces and I'm ready to sleep. But
your 2 pieces were the size of my 1, by the way. So you should have just got a CJ size.
I should have just gone with the CJ size, but I tried to play it cool with the mini size, and then I came back for round 2, and it was delicious because Will Coleman should open a bakery, and someday you just might.
Just might.
Hey, you know what? There are a couple of spots open. There's where Houston's was off of Poplar. There's nothing there.
I hear there's an open building.
Opening there.
So apparently some people still trying to buy and keep it open.
I did hear that.
Okay. Well, let's raise money and hit Will's Bakery there.
I don't even care if the restaurant I just need somebody to drop the chicken tender recipe.
Oh, you're one of the chicken tender people.
Let's talk about this really quickly because as a chicken finger aficionado and lover of all fingers that are made of chicken, I had the Houston's chicken fingers one time in my life, and they were good. I don't want to knock these chicken fingers. However, I think there is a significant Memphis bias to the RIP Houston's chicken fingers, one that I had to adjust to in my own life because I used to think that Red Robin had the best chicken fingers. And like Red Robin, may I remind you all, Houston's is a chain. So from one chain restaurant to another, I think when you have a certain chicken finger as a kid, like the Red Robin had a side of buzz sauce. You could get it with buzz sauce, either doused in it or on the side, dip it in the buffalo sauce, perfection. As I grew up and had actual superior chicken fingers, I learned my feelings on Red Robin chicken fingers were rooted deeply in nostalgia. And I think people's feelings on Houston's chicken fingers are rooted deeply.
Yeah.
I whisper it because people are really passionate.
Hey, you know who else got some fire chicken fingers? Brookhaven.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right up there.
They got some crazy chicken tenders.
They have great ones. Mama's down here has great chicken fingers.
Man. Chicken
Mama's.
tenders or fingers? What's the difference between a
Mama's
tender and a
out
finger?
past, the brewery that's past.
Going towards Arkansas.
Yes.
Yeah.
I ain't never been there. I
Great
ain't
chicken
never been to try
fingers.
those.
Oh yeah, it's the first bar you get to in Tennessee, or the last bar you get to when you leave Tennessee. It's right there on the Memphis, Arkansas border.
Huey's chicken fingers are actually elite.
Young Avenue.
Young
Young
chicken
Avenue.
fingers, fantastic. Gus's chicken fingers. We had a friend come and we gave them like hella grief about ordering chicken fingers at Gus's because it felt sacrilegious. But then I tried the Gus's chicken fingers and they're fire.
Man, I got a
have many
bone to pick
chicken
with.
finger
I got a
options.
bone to pick with Gus's. I be trying to go there. I don't like. They tried to get me one time. I went in there. First off, when you go to a restaurant, this is my number one pet peeve, dog. Look, I'm a heavy tipper. I will tip you out the wazoo if the service is great. But if it's bad, you're gonna pay for it. I know people work for their tips, but look, if I go to a restaurant and you don't write my order down,
and you get it wrong,
you get it wrong. So I went to Gus's one time. I gave this lady my order total. I get the same thing every time. The 3 or the 4 piece. If the special going on,
White or dark?
fries, mac and cheese.
White or dark?
Dark. The fries and mac and cheese. I get the same thing every time. I told the girl I want the 4 piece. Or I tried to get the 3 piece. She said, we got the 4 piece for the special right there on the wall. You want to try that? I said, okay, cool. So I got the 4 piece, mac, fries. She bring my plate out. I got coleslaw on it. I said, ma'am, I didn't ask for coleslaw. I don't even, first off, if you like coleslaw, you're a serial killer. That's a conversation for another day.
Retweet.
But I said, ma'am, I asked for mac and cheese.
Coleslaw as their side. Thank you.
Get my mac and I was like, man, I order mac and cheese. She was like, oh, okay. If we change it, it's gonna cost 25 cents. I said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I couldn't really act a fool because I had my daughter with me, so I couldn't really act out.
May I ask which Gus's you were at?
I was at the one on Mount Moriah.
All right. Go to the original.
Yeah, I was at the one on Mount Moriah.
The original takes
So
care
then,
of you. My
I said, let me
neighbors,
see
they
the
treat
owner.
us good.
So let me see the owner. Oh man, yeah, we changed this. We're gonna have to charge you 25. And it wasn't a 25 cent.
The principalities.
Yes, man. You got my order wrong. You sat your tail up here and didn't write my order down after I ordered it. You didn't write it. I get it wrong. You get it wrong. And now I gotta pay because of your mistake.
Come on, man.
Nah, bro.
Come on,
I'm fed up, bro.
Come on.
I'm fed up.
I'm so sorry you went through that.
I'm just
They
mad.
have great chicken fingers.
They do,
Just
but
so you know.
I'm fed up, bro. Don't write my order down.
Just write the order down.
I don't care
Will.
how cold you think you are. I don't care how nice you think you are with the order taken. You know the menu like the back of your hand. Write it down. Because let me tell you something. If my order wrong or if something don't come back right,
I'm sending it back.
I'm sending it back. And I'm also, if you the server, look, this is what you order. This is what you order. It's right here, I wrote down. So now, I don't want to mess your tip up, because if the kitchen dropped the ball, I'm gonna need to let the manager know your kitchen back there playing, they messing up food. I want to tip my server. Come on, man, write my order down, bro. Just write it down, please. I'm gonna tip you real good, please, just write my order down.
Baby, please.
Baby, please.
When did this happen?
This is a while ago, but
Okay, you seem to still be working through it.
because it still happens.
When things like that happen, man, it makes you upset. I still haven't finished processing what happened to me at that trash ass IHOP off Union. Easily the worst IHOP in the nation.
I black out what happened to me at that
We've got
IHOP.
to shut that down. We need to be picketing that union.
See, I'm telling
But
you.
it takes some time to get over things.
Man,
Well, I have a Starbucks where I had a bad interaction somewhat recently where I had to send back, and I don't like to send things back. I am someone who will just take what they give me and be like, okay, fine. But this one, I was going on a long road trip and I wanted my coffee so that I had energy, and they gave me the wrong drink 3 times. And on the 3rd time, and she treated me, every time I gave it back and said, this isn't what I ordered, it was like I did something wrong. And then she gave me the last one, and she's like, here it is. And like, give it, and I'm like, okay. She gave it to me without the lid on, and it spilled all over my car. So anyway, we don't go back to that Starbucks. We all have these moments.
I would have
in
threw it
life.
back I would have threw it back. Man, listen, I'm running my mouth. I know y'all got to do y'all thing.
We do,
Cut the
it's
break
fine.
and all that stuff. Listen, I could write my order down. Just write your order down. Write your order down.
Write the order down.
Like Oprah, everybody get their order written down. Please, just write it down.
And you get an order written down.
Man,
And
please,
you get
bro.
an order
It'll
written
clear up
down.
so much confusion.
Thank
Just
you,
write
Will.
it down, please, man.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Just write it down.
I'm so sorry. But thanks for the cake. We'll see you next week. Hopefully we're talking about a Memphis win. That is Will Coleman. He joins us each and every Tuesday. We'll take a break. We will come back. We'll talk about some TV Tuesday, and included in that, it wasn't a TV show, but the internet was one of those days where you're just scrolling all day because they caught the alleged CEO killer out of McDonald's in Pennsylvania, and the tweets were a lot. We'll get into all of that. Golden Globe nominations as well when we come back.
Grizzlies are just having fun out there tonight. Morant around a screen, bumped by Wagner. No look to Smart, lays it up on the window and in, and it is all Grizz. The Grizzlies have the fans on their feet at FedEx Forum.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Southland Casino Hotel is helping you navigate to Santa. Win your share of up to $340,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Here Comes Santa kicks off November 24th. Get one free entry and earn additional entries for weekly Saturday drawings. Don't forget the grand finale drawing on Saturday, December 21st to win up to $5,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Win big during Here Comes Santa, only at Southland Casino Hotel.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quoting, call 800-522-4700. Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
D'Anthony Melton took my little guys, to the ice cream stand. He was like, I'm going to get ice cream. You want to go with? So he took my little guys to the ice cream stand. So, guess who their favorite player is now? John Morant. But outside of that, D'Anthony Melton's pretty high up on the list. How about this? We got youth small D'Anthony Melton jerseys at our house right now. Love D'Anthony Melton. That was a fun night.
It was a fun night, man.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Somebody who really has done what they were supposed to do, or maybe wasn't expected to do, is Jalen Wells, the Western Conference Rookie of the Month.
What you're seeing right now is him showing that, hey, no matter where I was going to go in the draft, I was going to be ready.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Some TV Tuesday, but yesterday was such a crazy day. I completely missed that the Golden Globes nominations came out, which are both for movies and TV.
They come out at a weird time. Like the Golden Globe show for the awards, I think it started at like 7
Pacific time usually, which is like when we're on the air at 9. So we're doing things. And then by the time we got off the air yesterday, relatively quickly, they caught the alleged CEO shooter out of McDonald's, and my entire timeline was full of commentary and discovery of Luigi Mangione. And I would like to say we are one letter off from his name translating to Luigi's Mansion, because Mangione with an I instead of an E would be Luigi's Mansion, but instead it's Luigi Mangione. And everyone was in on it. Pop Crave was reporting on it. The pictures that came out, the mugshot that came out. It took 5 days, and the internet had an absolute day with it. I had not thought about what would happen in a situation where a Gen Z alleged killer is
he a
caught.
Zer?
He is a Zer. He graduated from high school 6 years before me. I only know that fact
6 years
specifically.
before you or after you?
After me.
Gotcha.
2016, because he graduated from the Gilman School, which is where one of my best friends, Connor, went to school, and this little factoid gave me life yesterday for whatever reason. I was like, I know someone who went to the Gilman School, who went to the school that 6 years later would produce the alleged killer who has taken over the consciousness of this entire country in these times. But his digital footprint, like, he erased nothing. So quickly, they found his Goodreads account, which gave a glowing review for both the Lorax and the Manifesto of the Unabomber. It's got range. It's got range.
Anybody who's reading the Manifesto of the Unabomber, they different.
He went to
keep an eye on them.
He went to the University of Pennsylvania, so he's an Ivy Leaguer. He came from a relatively wealthy family, a wealthy family in Maryland. His cousin is a Republican state delegate. Do you think his cousin saw those pictures and was just like, don't know him, don't recognize, unfamiliar?
I don't know. Are Republicans clamoring for this guy's arrest? Has this become like political?
No.
This doesn't feel political. It doesn't feel like one side is saying,
I agree.
Hey, like, you shouldn't do that. And the other side is saying you should. I feel like everybody universally has an issue with healthcare over here.
Yes.
And so everybody's kind of like, hey, that you shouldn't kill people. But, like, I get it.
Even though one side of the aisle is significantly more pro universal healthcare for all than the other, this has seemed to unify the majority of people.
The populace, not necessarily the politicians.
Correct. Which has been an interesting subset. And even finding out more of this guy, like, he sits in a middle space, it seems. He's a conundrum of a person based on his digital profile. His friends say he had back surgery recently, and these same friends say he went MIA about 6 months ago. So somebody who, you don't want to make any assumptions, but has been out of the communication of his friends and his family at this point. But he was arrested, and they found him. It took 5 days, but they got him in a McDonald's because someone in the McDonald's snitched. Turned him in.
Snitched. That's the definition of snitching right there.
There's been a lot within this, but one of the craziest, I do think it's also a testament to how mainstream media covers something like this. It's been a challenge because the people have kind of unified in one place, and media, which sometimes works in the elite CEO space, doesn't quite know how to have the comprehensive coverage necessary in time. Like, the why people are responding in the way they are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, especially you got to sit down with people and, like, talk this out to be able to get a good grasp on what it is going on right now in America with this particular situation. And that takes time. Comprehensive coverage lends itself to you having to express more of an opinion, and you can't be on TV like, we got to eat the rich right now, right? You can't be on TV saying that if that's how you feel, but enough of the populace is so frustrated with healthcare that they have no sympathy for this particular CEO. And you can't try and lecture them on, hey, this is why killing is bad and this is what it does.
Because they see this person as responsible for killing people with paper.
And so it is weird. I think that with this particular thing, one of the things that I think that especially cable news gets wrong more often than not is with that comprehensive coverage. I know it's frustrating. I know it's going to lead to a decrease in your ratings, especially when people over here spouting off their opinions and getting people riled up, and people over there spouting off their opinions and getting people riled up. You got to just stick to the facts. And however many times you got to say, hey, his name is Luigi. They found him.
He's got a six-pack.
They found him over yonder way.
Sorry, that wasn't the direction you were going.
But does he have a six-pack?
Oh, my God, yes. One of the funniest.
He's got a six-pack then.
I laugh my way through everything. Let me clarify. That's just how I live my life. One of the funniest tweets of yesterday was, new workout goal is to have a body where after I commit a crime, the media posts my shirtless pics and everyone's like, Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
So like it's that type of stuff that you need to say no opinion, and that's what news is. We've gotten too much into the entertainment side of this, especially with things that matter like politics.
Oh, we're so screwed.
That it's going to, if it hadn't already, it will pretty soon. It will get politicized, and then we'll start having these opinion conversations that do nothing but drive a wedge further between us as citizens. But yeah, they caught him. I am in most cases anti-murder. I'll just leave it at that.
It's a good place to leave it.
I got nothing here.
I do think that we live in one of the dumbest timelines. Like there was immediately a Luigi fan account that popped up that was like, America's sweetheart Luigi Mangione is seen being led into a Pennsylvania police station in his first appearance following arrest. Like, come on. Can you imagine if like Lee Harvey Oswald right after...
Was he handsome?
Not really.
Okay, give me a handsome
He
murderer.
wasn't a hottie. I don't know any hot assassins.
I mean, the what are they? The Menendez brothers? Mendez?
Oh yeah, they were good looking.
Yeah, they were hot when they went in, and that was just in the 80s.
That is true.
And I'm be honest with you, they still look like for the age. They're like, oh yeah.
OJ was handsome. He had handsome privilege.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I don't particularly think OJ was.
I think he had handsome. He was a handsome man.
All right.
R.I.P.
Well,
very clearly. Speaking of being in the dumbest timeline, though, I just wanted to point out this NBC News article that popped up that I thought was fake. I thought this was one of those things where someone like types something up and then pops it on social media. And so I, as everybody should do when they see a clip of something, check the source, because I was like, I'm not going to talk about this if it wasn't real. I don't want to spread false information. No, it was real. It was an actual NBC News article that reported that Luigi once belonged to a group of Ivy League gamers who played assassins. In the game called Among Us, some players are secretly assigned to be killers in space who perform other tasks while trying to avoid suspicion from other players. Are you flipping kidding me? We all played Among Us during 2020 when we couldn't leave our houses and were looking for games. You didn't play Among Us?
That's what radicalized him, Jessica. Come on now.
It was the Among Us.
It was the Among Us.
Yes, certainly he, as a little space invader, was like, you know what? This feels like a reality. I would like to make my situation.
Which if that, to your point and to this article's point, if that's what radicalized him, playing Among Us, then a lot of billionaires and a lot of CEOs should be very concerned. Because to your point, Jessica, everybody played Among Us. All of us played Among Us.
Literally.
Other Jacob sent us something. He worked on Civ 6.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
All we do is talk about Civ 6 in our world.
So good.
Yeah, Civ 6. He was a big Pokemon fan.
He is. This is where I think when we look back at how, and I'm not saying this is what this is, and I don't want to get too big for this moment. But when we look back at how like revolutions start, it doesn't ever feel like it's just, hey, one person does this one thing and then everybody sort of rallies around
Sure.
it. It feels much more organized, much less chaotic. But I would venture to bet, like, it's just one person doing one thing most of the time. And then everybody looks around at the response and is just like, oh, he did that? And they get more, or she did that, and then they get more emboldened, and then we got things popping off. I'm not saying that that's going to happen here. I'm not trying to speak that into existence, but it does feel uncomfortable and uneasy.
Who assassinated Franz Ferdinand?
The
Archduke that started World War I. Wasn't he just a student?
Just a random person.
Yeah, it was a random person. Again, not trying to expand this outwards.
It sort of just pops off.
Right, events happen.
Yeah.
But I do, like, from just an anthropological standpoint, it is fascinating to know so much. We used to live in a world where assassins, or alleged assassins, I should say, or people in these events were such unknowns. Like, it took so much time to uncover every painstaking detail about their life leading up to it. And now we have so much content to sift through to learn about a person relatively quickly. And that is a crazy place to be. The Golden Globe nominations also came out. I don't really have any big takeaways from it. If we had more time, I was going to go through each of them. My biggest takeaway was that I didn't remember these shows being from this year. Like my semblance of time is all mixed up. Best television series drama, The Day of the Jackal. Never heard of it. I pride myself on being pretty involved in television. Haven't heard of it. The Diplomat, which I've heard is awesome, and I've come so close. It's the Kerry Russell show on Netflix. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. This is the one that I felt like, certainly that was out last year, but it is eligible for this Golden Globe.
But it was out last year.
But it was out last year.
Don't confuse
Shogun,
me like that.
which swept at the Emmys, is eligible for this Golden Globe run. Slow Horses on Apple TV. And then the new season of Squid Game, that hasn't even come out yet, got nominated for Best Drama.
Really?
Yes. And then the best comedies are Abbott Elementary, The Bear, The Gentleman, Hacks, Nobody Wants This, which was the fun Kristen Bell, Adam Brody
Was Hacks
show.
this year? It was.
Hacks swept at the Emmys.
Okay,
so Hacks and Shogun
so it was
are those
last year and
holdovers
then
into
coming
this year.
okay.
And then Only Murders in the Building, which I don't think I mentioned it on the show. I gave up. We watched 3 episodes of the new season, and I was like, how many murders can happen in this building?
Well, there's a whole new season, so there's another one.
done.
I enjoyed that season, Only Murders.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished
The most recent one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Yeah, don't have much. I did see that both of the stars of the Penguin, what's my man's name? Colin Farrell, and
Yes.
why am I blanking on Sophia's name?
Christina Minotti? Is that it?
I'm not sure.
Minotti?
Was she in How I Met Your Mother?
Yes.
Okay, if that's the case,
I'm trying to think of what her
yes,
name is. Hold
I
on.
saw both of them nominated for their
We
roles.
almost started The Penguin last night because
it's a good watch.
It's on the list. We just
a
have
good
to
watch.
finish Shrinking.
Okay.
We're really a one show at a time
I got you.
couple right now. We're struggling to get through anything.
Yeah, it's that time of the season.
Yeah. And
But-
I've tried to be
but-
better with my sleep this year,
Yeah.
pulling back the curtain to like not stay up every night until 10. I've been really diligent about being in bed on non-Grizzlies game nights at 9, and that takes away from our abilities to watch
Yeah,
a lot of shows.
but that time of the season is sadly quickly ending. There's Army Navy this weekend, and that's it.
Yeah, but I
And-
realized yesterday the greatest part about the expanded college football playoff is how long the college football season is about to go. We get it until the 20th.
Don't we usually get it till the 20th?
No.
When is the championship game
Usually the
played?
second week of January.
Okay, so one more week. I got you.
But so many more games. So many more games that matter. Obviously, we
Well,
have
the
bowl
games are. I think
extravaganza
the
every
games are
year.
the same, right? Because
Because the first rounders they're super early. The first rounders are the 20th and the 21st.
I guess 4 more games then.
And then the quarterfinals are the usual
Bowl game.
New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
Yeah.
And then the semifinals are January 10th, January 9th, so 9th and 10th. And then the championship game is the 20th, which never fails every time I refocus on this to remember that it's MLK Day, Inauguration Day, and the national championship
On
game.
January
20th.
Okay,
We have Grizzlies Timberwolves at 1:30,
let's go.
which at least will be done before the national championship game at
Oh, I thought you were
6:30.
going to say before they stormed the Capitol.
No, that
The
was on
revolution
January
comes.
6th. That was a different part of the day, CJ.
I'm sorry.
Because I said that too yesterday to Chris. He was like, January 6th wasn't the inauguration. I'm like, yes, I know, I'm not stupid. It was the certification of the election.
Okay.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, this was just personal because Chris thought that I was dumb.
Yeah. Well, listen, we had an election about that. That's what we decided,
Oh,
Jessica. Yeah, revolution can come whenever it comes.
It's Christina Milioti
There
is
we
the
go.
Penguin actress.
Okay.
I said
She was-
Minotti. My
She was
bad.
great.
I'm excited to watch more of these shows. I feel like I'm more behind than usual. So I have a lot of things to watch. I'm behind on the movies too. We can talk about the movies in theater Thursday this week, but almost everything outside of Wicked. But I don't really need to watch anything else because Wicked should win everything. So I feel like I've already watched the winner.
Yeah, that's the winner.
Hey, you want to know what sounds like a good way to spend the rest of this Tuesday?
Eating that cake.
Eating the cake, throwing a party, controlling the aux cord, and turning on the sweet, sweet Wicked soundtrack for the rest of the day. Hey, the Grizzlies don't play until Friday, which means you don't have to hear that commercial.
Maybe.
Well, unless you're watching the Gary Parrish show or the Chris Vernon show.
Or Sneak Fest.
Today, that's your lineup on GCM. We will be back tomorrow. D'Angelo Williams will join us. We'll have NBA Cup action to talk about the 2 first quarterfinal games going on tonight. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. We'll see you then. Bye.
Commissioner's really on us about the Genty stuff. It's good stuff.
He's a homer. He's a Boise State homer.
I didn't want to say anything.
He was at the game last weekend.
You saw Genty.